Welcome to our Shrimad Bhagwatam class. So, I will recite the Mangalacharan prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Radha Sri Visakhan Vitanscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratu Se Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I welcome you all boys and girls for our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Okay, so please recite this verse. You can recite after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nastaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhagavati Naistiki. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So before we begin 8th chapter today, I will briefly review chapter 7. We learn in chapter 7, the title of chapter 7 is Son of Drona Punished. In that chapter, there are 5 episodes. The episode 1 covers texts 1 to 7, in which it is described Vyasadeva's vision of Krishna and glories of Shrimad Bhagwatam. So after Narada's departure, Vyasadeva in his ashram sat in meditation. And what did he see? He saw Lord Krishna as well as his material energy. And he also saw that his material energy was under his control. He, Vyasadeva, also recognized that living entities means the man and everybody in this material world are suffering in the material world. And their miseries can be stopped by the devotional service to Krishna. Means bhakti, you can mitigate the miseries of the people living in the Kali Yuga. But majority people do not know about it. So Vyasadeva decided to write Srimad Bhagwatam. So after Narad left, he sat in meditation, he saw Krishna in energy, he saw that people are suffering, and that is why he decided to write Srimad Bhagwatam. Now in episode 2, which covers texts 8 to 11, Vyasadeva teaches this Srimad Bhagwatam to his son Sukdev Goswami. So after writing Srimad Bhagwatam, he thought that I should teach this to my son Sukdev Goswami. But in the beginning, as soon as he took birth, he just walked away and went to the forest. So Vyasadeva was worried about, my whole purpose that I prayed to get a son so that he can preach this Srimad Bhagwatam so the people of Kali Yuga will be happy. But he is not here now. He went to the forest. So Vyasadeva told his disciple and to go to forest where Sukdev Goswami is roaming about, he is wandering about, and told his disciple to recite two most famous verses which describes Lord Krishna's compassion, how compassionate Lord Krishna is, so his quality. And another verse describes the beauty of Krishna when he's entering into the forest of Vrindavan for herding the cows, for grazing the cows. So these two qualities, compassionate quality and also his beautiful description of the beauty of Krishna. While Sukdev Goswami heard, he came back to his father and learned whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, Lord Krishna has innumerable qualities, but these two qualities were such a powerful. In his compassionate nature, it is described that he has given a motherly position to which Putna. Putna was Rakshasi, demoness. She came to kill Krishna, but Krishna gave him motherly position. So that is how compassionate Krishna is. And then his beautiful description is described all over Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is regarding Vyasadeva teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to Sukdev Goswami. Then in episode 3, text 12 to 16, lamentation for the Pandava sons is described. So what happened at the end of Kurukshetra war, when Duryodhana was lying down with his spine broken, at that time Aswathama was son of Dronacharya. He wanted to please his master Duryodhana. So he went to the camp of the Pandavas and he chopped the heads of the 5 sons of Draupadi who were sleeping, and he presented to Duryodhana. But even Duryodhana did not like it. So he was condemned in that way also. But then when Draupadi came to know that his sons were killed, she was crying. At that time, Arjuna came and promised her that, do not worry, I will bring the head of Aswathama to you. Like that. So that he's trying to just pacify his wife. So then episode 4 begins with where Arjuna captures Aswathama. So after pacifying his wife Draupadi, Arjuna with his friend Krishna, because Krishna was the charioteer, so they chase after Aswathama. And now seeing Arjuna coming, Aswathama was kind of in fearful situation. He fled away in fear, in his chariot. But what happened after some time, his horses were tired. So he cannot move further. So he was in dilemma. So at that time, what happened? To save his life, he released Brahmastra called fiery iron weapon. It's called Brahmastra. He released that thing, but he did not know how to take it back, how to retract it, how to withdraw it, So, and Arjun, when he saw the glaring of that Brahmastra, he was also in fear. What to do now, So he prayed Lord Krishna and asked his help. And Krishna told him that Aswathama do not know how to how to withdraw this back, but you know it. So with your Brahmastra, you release it and then withdraw both of them. So on the advice of Krishna, Arjuna did this thing. He released his Brahmastra, withdraw both of them back. And then here Aswathama was kind of a ashamed position. So Arjuna was really angry on him, and he bound him with the ropes, and he took him to the camp where these Pandavas were there. So then in the last episode 5, it describes from 35 to 58, there were some arguments regarding whether to kill Aswathama or not between the family members. So the kind-hearted Draupadi did not want to kill Aswathama, and she gives so many reasons. She said that he is Brahmana. We cannot kill Brahmana, On top of it, he is son of our Guru, Dronacharya, And then also she gave reason that Kripi, his mother, I don't want to put his mother into same situation as I am in now. So because of compassionate nature of Draupadi, she was so chaste lady, nice lady, very kind-hearted lady. She was not in favor of killing Aswathama. So she gave many arguments and reasons for it. Now Yudhishthir and all other, Sahadev, Nakul, they all agreed, but Bhim did not agree. Bhim wanted to kill Aswathama. So it was a dilemma, what to do. So Krishna gave hint to Arjun. Krishna told Arjuna that, look, there is a Shastric injunction that the Brahmabandhu, means the Brahman who has not lived up to the standard of Brahminical culture, he should not be killed for such violation. Then on the other hand, if he is an aggressor, and he is an aggressor because he killed the sleeping sons, so he should be killed. But then there is also injunction that the aggressor is without weapon and without chariot, he should not be killed. So kind of Lord Krishna gave instruction Arjuna in kind of an ambiguous way. But Arjuna was very smart. He understood the meaning and desire of Krishna, So now he took the action. What did he do? He cut the hairs and jewel from the head of Aswathama, and then insulting him, driven away from the camp, So for a Kshatriya or for a warrior, if you insult them and, cut his hair, and especially jewel, Aswathama was born with jewel in his head. And because of that, nobody can kill him, So that was the situation, and that was taken out. So this was as most as as good as death. Even sometimes it is worse than death. Also, it is said in this shastra. So this punishment was as good as death, and then after that, Pandavas performed the rituals for their dead relatives. So then we will come to the today's chapter, text 8. We'll continue with the same uh, episode where in text 1 to 4, in episode 1, it is described that Pandavas perform rituals and Krishna and sages specify them. The title of today's chapter number 8 is Prayers by Queen Kunti and Maharaj Parikshit Saved. Okay. And in this episode 1, it is described that after punishing Aswathama in the previous chapter, we just learned about it, Pandavas went to the river Ganga to perform rituals for their dead relatives. They offered waters to the departed soul and lamented for them. Also, they took bath and sat on the bank of river, and they were lamenting about their dead relatives. So it is a custom in Hindu society to go to river Ganges or any other sacred river to take bath when death occurs in a family. So they followed that custom. See, all the Pandavas, Draupadi, Kunti, Gandhari, they were overwhelmed with grief. So at that time, Krishna and all the sages uh, console them. They say to Pandavas, this is the material world, Baba. This is your cousins were immoral, and so their life ended earlier according to their karma. Everyone born in this material world has to die. Nobody lives forever. You can only live happily forever in the spiritual world if you always engage in loving devotional service. This kind of usually the prayer or consolation, we give to the relatives of, whose relatives are died, and they are our friends or well-wisher. Normally we console them that, this happened, this is material world, everybody has to die. So the Krishna and sages were pacifying them like that. And they also mentioned that the cousins were immoral, and that is why they have to end their life earlier. And everyone born in his material life has to die one day. So this is like law of karma, right? Law of karma cannot be changed by any living entity. The living entities are under the subordinate condition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the master and we are the servant. We are subordinate to him. So God makes all the laws, and these laws were generally called dharma or religion.
Hare
We
Krishna.
will be only happy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just reminder for PPT slide.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Okay, hold on. So thank you, Mataji. Let me share the screen. Sorry about that. I was just going. Okay. So this is 1.8. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm getting there. All right. So anyway, this is yet to come. I will let you know where it is. So in the beginning, in the first episode, we are only learning about that the Pandavas perform the rituals and these sages and Krishna pacifying them. So I'm still continuing with that episode. And in the second episode, we will see this scene that you are seeing in your screen right now. Okay. So let me finish the first episode where I was talking about the sages and Krishna was saying them, We will be only happy and peaceful both materially and spiritually by serving him and obeying his laws. So mukti or liberation means to be situated in one's original status after giving up the material conception of life. Thus, Lord Krishna pacified the family members of the Kurus who were lamenting uh, behind their dead relatives. Now, in episode 2, which we are going to discuss now about, they cover from text 5 to 17. So, Lord Krishna, in this episode, the main theme is Lord Krishna saves Maharaj Parikshit in the womb of his mother Uttara. So we learned that the terrible war of Mahabharata was over. Pandavas now had their kingdom back, and by the grace of Krishna, Maharaj Yudhishthir recovered his kingdom after killing the cunning Duryodhan and his party. His party includes his brother Dusasan also, who insulted Draupadi. So, and therefore, these people have to die untimely. So, Lord Krishna then established the glories of Yudhishthir Maharaj while staying there by encouraging him to perform 3 sacrifices called Aswamedh Yagna, and thus Yudhishthir fame is spread like Indra's, who had performed 100 such sacrifices. So Yudhishthir was famous in the whole world even than Indra, even though Indra performed 100 horse sacrifices and Yudhishthir performed only 3 horse sacrifices. Why? Because Maharaj Yudhishthir performed 3 sacrifices under the guidance and protection of Lord Krishna. That is the difference. So that's why he became famous. Now, Lord Krishna was now ready to go back to his own city, which his own city is Dwarka. So he then prepared for his departure. As you can see that he's sitting on the chariot here. He's ready to depart to go to Dwarka. And the Brahmanas, especially Vyasadeva, worship Lord Krishna. Then after exchanging greeting with the Brahmanas and Pandavas appropriately, Lord Krishna sat on a chariot and ready to leave, which you can see here. That after the fact everything is all over, war was over, he saved everybody, including even Parikshit to be king of Hastinapur. So all these things happen, and then now he's ready to leave. Now what is happening? You can see Mother Kunti standing by the chariot. He's holding that, he's touching the wheel of the chariot there, and he's addressing Krishna there. So we're gonna get into that story now. No, it's a little bit after that. Okay, before that, we're gonna go to the story where Maharaj Parikshit was saved. Okay, before we come to this Kunti's prayer. Okay, so all of a sudden, Krishna saw Uttara. Who is Uttara? His wife Abhimanyu. And he came running toward him in fear. She looked so scared. So she said, Krishna, Krishna, O Lord of the universe, you are all powerful. Please protect me. There is a fiery iron arrow chasing me. If you want to burn me, I don't mind, but please save my baby in my womb. Please do me a favor, my Lord. So, as we can see, this incident happened after the death of Abhimanyu, who was husband of Uttara. So the mother of a child has a great responsibility in giving all protection to the child. And therefore, Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Lord Krishna. Because Uttara, as we know, she was daughter of great King Virat. King Virat, who know King Virat gave shelter to Pandavas when Pandavas were in the forest, and the last 13 years they have to live in incognito. Means nobody can find her or see them, So that's why they stayed in the Virat palace, in a incognito way, means nobody can recognize them, you know. So she was the Uttara was the daughter of Virat. She was wife of great hero Abhimanyu, who died in the battle. Again, Uttara was also a student of great devotee Arjuna. You know that during that time they lived in Virat house, Uttara was learning dancing from Arjuna, because Arjuna's role was, if you have seen the Mahabharata, his role was like, a teacher, dancing teacher. He was teaching dancing to Uttara. And also, she was a mother, great mother of a good king Parikshit later on. So she was fortunate in every respect. So Lord Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotee, patiently heard Uttara's humble request. Okay. He thought it is that Aswathama who has released the fiery iron arrow, Brahmastra. He is still trying to take revenge and kill the Pandava family, So here 5 Pandavas saw the fiery arrow, Brahmastra, coming toward them. So they took up their weapon to try to counteract. So it seems Aswathama released multiple Brahmastra, at least 6 Brahmastra, because Aswathama wanted to kill the whole Pandu dynasty, So 5 arrows for 5 Pandavas and 1 for Parikshit, who is their heir, their grandson. So he released 6 Brahmastra. Because he needs to save Parikshit Maharaj also, who was inside the Uttara's womb. So the Pandava family was a devotee family, and therefore the Lord wanted them to rule the world. And that was the reason he destroyed the rule of the company of Duryodhan and established the rule of Maharaj Yudhishthir. And therefore, he also wanted to protect Maharaj Parikshit, who was in the womb of Uttara. So he did not like the idea that the world should be without the Pandavas. The ideal family of the devotees, these Pandavas were. Therefore, when Lord Krishna saw that his beloved devotee were in danger, he at once took up his Sudarshan disc chakra. Sudarshan chakra, they call it. That is the ultimate weapon for Krishna that he uses to protect his devotees. Then Lord Krishna, who is Yogeshwar and Paramatma, also went inside Uttara's womb and personally covered and protected the baby by his personal energy. So you can see this is a Lord Krishna from outside with Sudarshan Chakra. He protected 5 Pandavas, but then he also need to protect the King Parikshit, who was in the mother's womb. So he took a super soul form. He manifested that in the womb of Uttara, and he covered the embryo, and that way he protected King Parikshit also in the womb. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna promised that his devotee are never to be killed. So he took this action to save them. He acted according to the quality or degree of devotional service rendered by the devotees. So this is a lesson that we learn, that as we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will also protect us in our life, materially as well as spiritually also. The Pandavas are 100% dependent on the protection of the Lord. Although they were all great warriors themselves, Lord Krishna took up his weapon to save them even at the risk of breaking his own vow. Remember, he has taken vow also before the battle start. Arjun and Duryodhan went to Krishna for a help. So Krishna told them, on one side, my whole Narayani Sena will be there, means his army. And on one side, he will be there without any weapon. So it's a long story. I'll just brief it. That Arjuna chose Krishna. And then Duryodhan was also happy to accept the Sena because that is what he wants. He said, what can I do with Krishna without weapon? It is better to have his army with me. So Duryodhan was happy in his own way. But Arjuna was happy in his own way that he wanted Krishna with him. So that was the vow that he made on that time, that he will not take the weapon. But here, even at the risk of breaking his vow, he took the weapon and saved his dear devotees. So it is known as his Bhakta Vatsal quality. Bhakta Vatsal means he's very dear to devotee. Lord Krishna has so many devotees, like he also known as Govinda. Govinda means he gives pleasure to cows, pleasure to senses, and pleasure to brahmanas. That is why his name is also Govinda. Govinda name was given by Lord Indra. There is a pastime in Bhagwatam, we will learn that later. So here, Bhakta Vatsal quality he has, that's why he saves his dear devotees, Pandavas. And thus, Lord Krishna preferred to continue as Bhakta Vatsal than to be a worldly moralist who never break his vow. That was his choice. So Lord Krishna's activities are always inconceivable to the tiny brain of the living entities. Nothing is impossible for the Supreme Lord. So now all these Pandavas were saved. Everyone was grateful to Lord Krishna, especially Queen Kunti, who will offer prayers now to Lord Krishna. So from that point, episode 3 will start, which will cover text 18 to 43, in which Kunti Devi offers prayers to Krishna. So Kunti here described as a chaste lady, as you can see in this slide. She's standing by the chariot and requesting Krishna. Actually, she's also praying and glorifying Krishna, basically. So after all crisis over, Lord Krishna again prepared to start his journey to Dwarka. And before he could leave, Kunti expressed her distress. She had observed how Krishna simultaneously protected Pandavas from outside and Maharaj Pariksit from the inside, entering into the womb of Uttara. She personally saw it, so she was bewildered, sort of. Kunti was astonished by Krishna's power, and she understood that Krishna is not just her nephew. By relation, Krishna was Kunti's nephew, because Vasudev, who was Krishna's father, was Kunti's brother. So in one sense, Krishna was nephew of Kunti. So, but Kunti realized that he is not just my nephew, but he is supreme personality of Godhead. She realized who Krishna is and began to offer her prayers to Lord Krishna. So in the first prayer, she says here, that you are the original personality of Godhead. You are not affected by material qualities. You exist everywhere, but you are invisible. So many actually glorification of Lord Krishna, and Kunti is saying all these things, So Uttara taking the shelter of Krishna, we already have did that part. He saved, and here is the Kunti Devi praying now. Okay, Srimati Kunti Devi is saying, "Oh Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of material world. you are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. So that is how she is praying here. Uh, because she saw that Lord Krishna protected Pandavas from outside and Parikshit from inside the Uttara's womb, you know. So similarly, this prayer is going further where he says, Lord Krishna in the form of Paramatma resides in everyone's heart also. And he gives knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So Kunti says again that you are covered by the curtain of illusory energy. Therefore, you are invisible to foolish people, just like an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Sometimes, suppose your friend is playing drama and you go to see that drama, and your friend is acting as a king and he is dressed up in such a way that sometimes even you will not be able to recognize him, you know. So that is why Kunti is comparing Lord Krishna also, that you are just like an actor, you know, nobody can realize you, you know. So even though, I mean, you are here, but you are invisible to most of the people, you know. So actually, less intelligent persons mistake him, mistake Krishna to be an ordinary man. For example, Duryodhan, Sisupa, etc. You know, what is less intelligent means? Less intelligent means uh, they are those who do not believe Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Krishna is a person, you know, or Krishna is an authority. They do not believe. These are the people which are having less intelligence. So when Lord Krishna appears himself as Ram, Nrsimha, Vara, okay, he performed many wonderful acts which are not possible for human, you know. He performed such activities even from the days of his lying on the lap of his mother. For example, you know, when he was a small baby, he killed Putna witch. He also killed Saktasu, you know, the one demon uh, who came there when they were celebrating Lord Krishna's event there, you know. And also he lifted Govardhan Hill later on. So how did he pick up the Govardhan? Just like a boy picks up that mushroom, you know. So that easily he picked up the Govardhan Hill. So all in all, Lord Krishna's activities are such that nobody can recognize or nobody can conceive his power also, you know, in that sense. So Kunti says further here that uh, you descend to give spiritual science of devotional service to advanced devotees and jnani people, means speculator, those who speculate knowledge. They will be purified because they have ability to distinguish matter and spirit. But how then we women can know you perfectly? So Kunti is expressing her humility that for a woman, it is very difficult to recognize you, you know, in that sense. So actually, Lord is beyond the range of thinking power of the greatest intelligence, you know. He is knowledgeable, or he is knowable only by one who has his mercy. See, this is what only if Krishna's mercy is there, it will be easy to know who Krishna is. You know. So Kunti glorifies Krishna, who has become the son of Vasudeva, you know, her brother. He gives pleasure to Devaki, Nanda, Yasoda, and cowherd boys and girls In Vrindavan also, he gives pleasure to cows and brahmanas. You can see here in this verse, it is said, that famous verse, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Right? Kunti says here, let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudev, who is her brother. He has become the pleasure of Devaki, boy of Nanda and Mother Yasoda, and cowherd man of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and senses. Means he gives the happiness to the cows and the senses. You can see that cow is sitting there. He plays his murli. So these are so many beautiful. There's so many. We just take some example here, but because of this, so many pastimes of Vrindavan, people get enchanted. So Queen Kunti here gives some examples of how Lord Krishna is so powerful as well as enchanting everyone. And Lord Krishna actually comes here to fulfill his mission. you know Lord Krishna descends on earth to please and to show his special mercy upon pure devotees and to kill demons. Actually, to kill demons is not a problem. He can send anywhere. But the main reason that he comes here to give pleasure to his devotees. Okay. So Nanda and Yasoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastime, which are more attractive than all other pastime in Vrindavan. There may be there's more pastime here also. You can see with baby Krishna, and there will be another nice verse where Kunti Devi is glorifying the bodily parts of Krishna, which we'll see in this verse. Is very nice. It says, Namaha Pankajanabhaya, Namaha Pankajamaline, Namaha Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flower, those whose glances is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. So, in this prayer, Queen Kunti glorifies the bodily feature of Lord Krishna. What that is bodily feature? Like his navel, garland, eyes, and feet. Okay, she compares them with lotus flower, right? So actually, while offering her obeisances, Kunti, being the aunt of Lord Krishna, did not begin to see his form from his lotus feet, thinking he might feel ashamed in relationship wise. So he started, therefore Kunti began to see the Lord just above the lotus feet. That is from the waist of the Lord, where the Nabi is there, the navel. So gradually rising up to the lotus feet and then down to the lotus feet. The actual process of deity darshan when we go to temple, and it is suggested in Shrimad Bhagwatam there, when we take a darshan, we begin from the lotus feet of the Lord. And then we move upward, calf, thighs, abdomen, chest, hands, then lotus face, like that. So, but Kunti did not do so because considering her relationship with Krishna, and Krishna might get ashamed of it, she started from the waist upward, and then lastly she came to the lotus feet of Krishna. And then Kunti further says that you have released your mother Devaki, who was in prison and distress by King Kamsa. As you can see that Devaki and Vasudev here is in the prison house, when he was born. And Kunti remembers that incident when Lord Krishna relieved Devaki and Vasudev from the prison house of the Kamsa. So she remembers that incident. And then, but she also says that you also saved us, Kunti says. Us means me and my children, Pandavas, from so many calamities, dangerous situation. So Kunti Devi was shown far more favor, because Lord Krishna uh, he did not save the other children of Devaki. Like, remember the 6 children before he came eighth, 7th was Balram. So before that, 6 children will killed by Kamsa. And Kunti is saying here that you could not save 6 children, means your brother, 6 children of Devaki, whereas you saved my children. Kunti Devi is saying that. So this was done because Devaki's husband Vasudev was living, whereas Kunti was a widow. She's just giving the reason. And there was none to help her except Krishna. So Kunti Devi is expressing that feeling that because I was a widow, you saved me and my children as well. So the conclusion is that Krishna shows more favor to a devotee who is in greater danger. Sometimes he puts his pure devotee in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. Okay. So the more the attachment is there for the Lord, the more success is there for the devotee. So then finally, Kunti says that, my dear Krishna, you have protected us. She gives the description of so many ways that how Krishna protected them and her children. So Kunti says that, my dear Krishna, you have protected us from a poison cake. One time you probably remember from Mahabharata, Bhim was poisoned, because Duryodhana wants to kill Pandava somehow or the other, Then also Krishna saved them from a great fire, Laksa Grove fire, where Duryodhana's plan was to burn Pandavas in that house, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, and from suffering during our exile in the forest, and from the battle. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Aswathama. That is also she has seen, right? She has saved all the Pandavas as well as Parikshit. Therefore, Kunti says that, I wish all these calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. Why Kunti wants calamity again and again? She wants calamities, these miseries again and again, because she expressed her feeling that we would see you again and again. Because seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. That means we will go to Golok Vrindavan now. So actually, this material world is Dukkhalayam Asasvatam, as it is said in Bhagavad Gita. It is dangerous place, full of all kinds of all calamities. And also, this place is temporary. Okay? It is not permanent. Therefore, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So whenever there is a calamity or some kind of miseries are there, then the devotee takes shelter of a Lord, lotus feet. Means it means preparing for liberation from birth and death. One can achieve liberation as easy as one leaps over the holes made by hoof of a calf. So you can see the calf hoof print on the earth, how much water in it in there. You can easily cross over. So the comparison is given in such a way that he said this Bhavasagar, this material ocean of miseries, we can cross so easily, like someone can cross over that hoof print of cow, puddle, which is filled of water, like that. So, my Lord, you only can be approached by those who are materially exhausted, and whoever trying to improve their good birth, like that. So we can see here that at the end, now Kunti is describing these are the prayers that Kunti's description is there. My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from poison cake, from great fire, from cannibal, from the vicious assembly, from suffering during our exile in forest, from the battle where great generals fought, like that. And then from you can see that because Bakasu was killed by Bhima when they were living in Ek Chakra. This is another story is given there. But we will cover this story next time, tomorrow, probably in more detail. So we'll begin from, this slide onward. So we stop at this point today and we'll carry on tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. I request to everyone, if you have any question, can you please raise your hand so we will take one by one. Thank you.
I hope it is all clear to you. Am I
Yes.
audible to everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So today we have covered part of the Kunti's prayer. Tomorrow we'll finish Kunti's prayer and the whole chapter as well. Okay.
Is any question for anybody? Please unmute, please raise your hand so we will take one by one. Hare Krishna. Is anyone have any question? Please raise your hand so we will take one by one. Prabhuji, my voice is audible?
Yeah.
I think, Prabhuji, there is no more questions, so we have to wind up our call.
Okay. If you don't have one of the prayers by Kunti in a poem form, if you want to listen it, everybody.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I will just recite one of the sort of a song that is made by prayers of Queen Kunti. So Queen Kunti could not bear to see that her dearmost Krishna would leave. She loved him so very much. Thus she prayed to him as such. May my love for you always be just like the Ganges flowing to the sea, strong and determined, never giving up, flowing to the ocean without any stop. Krishna smiled as Queen Kunti prayed. Forever in her heart, he promised he would stay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful poem also. So I request one more time, if anybody have any question, please unmute yourself also. You can unmute yourself by self also, or raise your hand.
Okay, so we should end the class here. Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, there
Yeah,
is
if you
no
don't have any questions, okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, see you all tomorrow.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, you can bring the question tomorrow if you have, okay?